Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Newcastle's Alexander Isak transfer hope is divorced from reality, as reality check issued. Newcastle striker Alexander Isak is attempting to push through a big money move to Liverpool, and Reds legend Jamie Carragher has shared his thoughts on the situation. Jamie Carragher has branded Newcastle divorced from reality after claiming that Liverpool's £110 million offer for Alexander Isak was derisory. Isak is attempting to push through a move to Liverpool and issued a statement earlier this week accusing Newcastle of breaking promises. "The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time," Isak said. "To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue." The club responded to Isak's statement, insisting that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired, and that they do not foresee those conditions being met. Newcastle value Isak at £150 million, but Liverpool legend Carragher believes that would be too much. In his latest column for The Telegraph, Carragher said, "Obviously I would like to see the Swedish striker become a Liverpool player, but not at any cost, and the suggestion that the first £110 million offer for Isak is derisory is divorced from reality. If Liverpool bid more than £130 million, it is too much. You would want Kylian Mbappe for the fee." From the moment Isak made his debut against Liverpool at Anfield, he has stood out, but there are concerns. Now 25, he is yet to prove he has the durability of Sulla. He has failed to start 36 league games over his 3 seasons in England, and 10 of his last 44 league goals were penalties. He would not be taking them at Anfield. Liverpool knew from the outset how tough it would be to convince Newcastle to sell. "Once Newcastle qualified for the Champions League, my instinct was the door shut. Newcastle have the power to resist because Isak has 3 years to run, and they can also anticipate big earnings from a European campaign, making such a sale unnecessary." No matter what Isak wanted privately, there was a fair assumption it would be another 12 months before such a transfer was tolerable at St. James Park. Signing a new deal with the written guarantees Isak claims were made verbally would have forced the move in 2026. Now it is carnage. Howe is currently without his best player, and reintegrating him has become more complicated after the understandably hostile reaction of Newcastle fans at Villa Park last weekend. Isak is currently training away from Newcastle's first team after missing their pre-season tour of Asia, and he did not play in Newcastle's opener against Aston Villa, which ended as a 0-0 draw. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Our second news is Liverpool's stance on late Marc Guehi transfer emerges, as preference decided for next deal. Another weekend of Premier League action is here, and all eyes will be on Liverpool's huge clash with Newcastle United on Monday night. And despite it being a massive game, it comes with added tension this time around. The Reds have been strongly linked with a move for Alexander Isak in past weeks, with the Newcastle striker currently on strike. Arne Slot's men are looking to make it 2 wins from 2, but will also be hoping to make advancements in their talks to land Isak. As well as a move for Isak, Liverpool are exploring other moves, with Crystal Palace captain and centre-back Marc Guehi on their radar. With just over a week until the transfer window closes for business, time is running out for more incomings. Here, the Echo takes a look at the latest Liverpool transfer news and gossip from the last 24 hours. Liverpool are still pushing to sign Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace this summer despite Eberechi's sealing a move to Arsenal, it has been claimed. The Eagles face the prospect of being raided before the window closes after their success last year. Ease is set to join the Gunners in a deal worth £67.5 million. Oliver Glasner revealed on Thursday night that the club cannot afford to allow their captain to leave so late in the window. However, the Mirror has claimed that the Reds remain keen on signing the central defender before the end of the window, but are reluctant to pay over the odds due to the fact they can get him as a free agent next summer. Harvey Elliott has reportedly decided he prefers a move to RB Leipzig this summer despite Fulham making checks over a possible return to Craven Cottage. Give Me Sport has claimed that the Premier League side were keen to know whether Elliott would be open to a move back to Craven Cottage. The report adds that the Englishman has been left feeling positive by discussions with the Bundesliga side and is satisfied with the package on offer. It's claimed that Fulham's attempt to hijack the move has failed, with Elliott preferring a move with a bigger profile. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Liverpool transfer news. Alexander Isak talks confirmed as Reds push for defender deal. Liverpool continue to be linked with a move for Newcastle's want-away striker Alexander Isak ahead of the transfer deadline, with the striker still training alone on Tyneside. Liverpool have already spent some serious cash in the transfer market this summer, but the Premier League champions could have more big deals up their sleeve before the window shuts on September 1st. Arne Slot and co have added Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez and Hugo Ekitike to the team that won the title last year, with Georgi Mamardashvili also now on Merseyside after spending one final season in Spain with Valencia. And further reinforcements could be on the way in the coming days. Liverpool's interest in Alexander Isak has been well documented in recent weeks, and the Sweden international is still training alone at Newcastle after making it clear that he wants a move. There is also talk of a deal for Marc Guehi following negotiations with Crystal Palace over the England star earlier this month. The Reds are short at centre-back after sanctioning Jarell Quansah's move to Bayer Leverkusen earlier this summer. Here, Mirror Football rounds up all the latest transfer news from in and around Anfield. Eddie Howe has said that he did hold talks with Alexander Isak at the end of the 2024-25 campaign, but did not divulge whether or not he was aware of the player's desire to leave. Isak accused the club of breaking promises in an explosive social media statement this week. Newcastle responded with a statement of their own which outlined that no club officials had promised the striker a move. When he was asked about the situation in a press conference on Friday, Howe said, "Yeah, me and Alex had conversations towards the end of the season. Yes, I am not going to sit here and deny that. I have always said that individual conversations are better off remaining private. But we had conversations at the end of the season. But I have had conversations with him near enough every day. That wouldn't be abnormal." Liverpool are still pushing to sign Marc Guehi before the transfer window shuts after Steve Parish hinted Crystal Palace could sell their captain. Guehi could follow Eberechi Eze out of Selhurst Park, with the attacking midfielder agreeing to join Arsenal. And Mirror Football reported on Friday that the Reds are still hoping to clinch a deal for another of Palace's prized assets before the transfer deadline. Spanish outlet AS claim that Liverpool are competing with Manchester City, Manchester United and Real Madrid for Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. There has been plenty of speculation around Wharton, 21, in recent months following the impressive manner in which he has handled the step up from the Championship to the Premier League after joining Palace back in February 2024, with top clubs now circling. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fourth news is Harvey Elliott is £50 million bargain, as Romano report shows Spurs are chasing the wrong wonderkid. Liverpool have sold and spent well this summer, and Harvey Elliott could be the next player to exit Anfield. Liverpool haven't just bought well this summer. One of the key reasons why they could still spend even more is because of how well they sell players too. It would have been easy to accept the first decent offers for players who Richard Hughes had earmarked to move on, but they were rewarded for their patience in the deals that saw Luis Diaz move to Bayern Munich and Darwin Núñez to Saudi Arabia. According to the Premier League's net spend table, several clubs have spent more than the Reds, with even those like Sunderland and Newcastle not far behind. One of the key reasons for the success has been setting the right price and getting the right type of deal. It would have been a blow to lose Jarell Quansah for £35 million, but Liverpool have a buyback clause and first refusal to bring the England international back to Anfield should he do well for Bayer Leverkusen. That the initial fee might be lower than his true value doesn't matter due to the clauses that could make a difference in the future. This is why Harvey Elliott's future at Liverpool is still uncertain. As with Quansah, the England under-21 international isn't a key player. He isn't irreplaceable, however, he is a reliable rotational option and solid squad player. That he is homegrown also serves as a benefit for UEFA's quotas and squad regulations. As the clock ticks down on the transfer window, a player of Elliott's ability could quickly become in demand despite transfer journalist Ben Jacobs claiming that the playmaker might stay put. Writing on X, Jacobs said, "Liverpool's preference is to keep Harvey Elliott. Leipzig still working on a deal, but nothing agreed club to club as of Thursday morning. At the right price, Liverpool will reluctantly sanction a sale due to understanding Elliott's desire to start every week. Yet Elliott's staying would be welcomed by Liverpool as he remains a valued squad player. It is probably an identical situation with Diaz in that he was valued by the manager, was a trusted member of the squad and didn't cause any problems. With 2 years left on his contract though, there was a decision that had to be made. At a price tag of a reported £50 million, it would be a surprise to see Elliott still in the red of Liverpool when the window closes. What makes this valuation even more attractive is the reported interest in Tyler Dibbling from Tottenham Hotspur, who have already been linked with Elliott. After losing out to Arsenal for Eberechi, Spurs desperately need to provide cover and depth for the loss of James Maddison through injury and Son Heung-min after his move to MLS. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fifth news is new signing ruled out of Newcastle United v Liverpool clash, +5 doubts. Newcastle United v Liverpool, the latest injury news and team news from Eddie Howe and Arne Slot ahead of Monday night's Premier League clash. Both Liverpool and Newcastle United have a few injury headaches to deal with ahead of their meeting at St James Park. The Magpies will again be without Alexander Isak after Eddie Howe confirmed that the Swedish international remains unavailable for selection. United's head coach will also be sweating on the fitness of a couple of key players. Arne Slot, meanwhile, will certainly be without one of his newest signings on Monday night and may have a bit of a headache at right back to contend with. Newcastle United haven't beaten Liverpool in a Premier League match for almost a decade, but were victorious the last time these two sides met at Wembley in March's Carabao Cup final. Although one of their goal scorers that day will not feature this time around. Here, we take a look at the latest injury and team news from both camps ahead of Monday night's blockbuster encounter between Newcastle United and Liverpool. Newcastle United's hopes of keeping Alexander Isak have been branded divorced from reality, as fresh reports confirm Liverpool remain in talks for the Swedish striker. Meanwhile, the Reds' stance on Marc Guehi has emerged, with Crystal Palace pushing for a late sale. Harvey Elliott has been labelled a £50 million bargain amid Spurs' pursuit of the wrong wonderkid, while new injury setbacks hit Newcastle ahead of their clash with Liverpool. Get the latest transfer news, updates, and inside reports. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Liverpool transfer news as one last Isak bid expected and Palace push for Guehi sale. With a little over a week until the transfer window shuts, Alexander Isak and Marc Guehi's futures remain the biggest stories for Liverpool. Here's the latest on both players. The countdown to Newcastle United vs Liverpool is well and truly on, with a high-scoring affair expected at St James Park. Both managers have also said they're expecting a hostile, electric atmosphere in the northeast. That seems likely on the back of a summer in which the two clubs' transfer activities have been so intertwined, but despite all the speculation, Alexander Isak remains a Newcastle player, with Liverpool yet to return with a second bid for the want-away attacker after seeing a first rejected earlier this month. That situation could change quickly, according to a fresh report in the Chronicle. The outlet claims the feeling at both clubs will be different after Monday, when Isak can no longer line up against Newcastle, well, for a few months, at least, the Magpies, it is reported, have been keen to avoid Isak making his Liverpool debut on Monday, while the Merseyside club's second approach was hardly going to come in the build-up to the Reds' visit to St James Park. With the transfer deadline in sight, Liverpool is expected to make one last bid next week, which would still give Newcastle time to find a replacement. It comes after Eddie Howe admitted in Friday's press conference that the Isak drama looks like it is coming to an end, or it will come to an end pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the other transfer saga that continues to surround Liverpool is the pursuit of Marc Guehi. The Reds' interest has remained all summer, with the Reds looking to strengthen in an area of the pitch that looks less stable given Ibrahima Konate's uncertain future, Joe Gomez's injury record and the summer exit of Jarell Quansah. Guehi, an England international who has a year remaining on his Crystal Palace contract, is seen by many at Anfield as the solution. If Marc Guehi wants to sign a new contract then he can stay, the Eagles chairman Steve Parish told Channel 5 on Thursday night. It's a difficult situation. Everyone has to sell players to comply with the rules. That's a situation that we will have to look at in the next days. TBR Football now states that Parish is attempting to push Guehi towards Liverpool with the defender unwilling to sign a new deal. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone. Our fifth news is new signing ruled out of Newcastle United v Liverpool clash, +5 doubts. Newcastle United v Liverpool, the latest injury news and team news from Eddie Howe and Arne Slot ahead of Monday night's Premier League clash. Both Liverpool and Newcastle United have a few injury headaches to deal with ahead of their meeting at St James Park. The Magpies will again be without Alexander Isak after Eddie Howe confirmed that the Swedish international remains unavailable for selection. United's head coach will also be sweating on the fitness of a couple of key players. Arne Slot, meanwhile, will certainly be without one of his newest signings on Monday night and may have a bit of a headache at right back to contend with. Newcastle United haven't beaten Liverpool in a Premier League match for almost a decade, but were victorious the last time these two sides met at Wembley in March's Carabao Cup final. Although one of their goal scorers that day will not feature this time around. Here, we take a look at the latest injury and team news from both camps ahead of Monday night's blockbuster encounter between Newcastle United and Liverpool. Newcastle United's hopes of keeping Alexander Isak have been branded divorced from reality, as fresh reports confirm Liverpool remain in talks for the Swedish striker. Meanwhile, the Reds' stance on Marc Guehi has emerged, with Crystal Palace pushing for a late sale. Harvey Elliott has been labelled a £50 million bargain amid Spurs' pursuit of the wrong wonderkid, while new injury setbacks hit Newcastle ahead of their clash with Liverpool. Get the latest transfer news, updates, and inside reports. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news.